This podcast is sponsored by ScienceBasedLearning.com. Discover your passion for languages with our innovative ebook, audiobook, and video system. Maximize retention using spaced repetition. Start your journey today.
How your first language influences pronunciation in second language learning. Discover how your native language affects your second language pronunciation and practical tips for adult learners to improve through science-backed methods. The influence of your first language on second language pronunciation. When adults set out to learn a new language, one of the most noticeable hurdles often comes with pronunciation. Many find themselves grappling with sounds, intonation, and rhythm that just don't match what they're used to in their native tongue. This phenomenon isn't random. It's deeply rooted in the way your first language, L1, influences your second language, L2 pronunciation. Understanding the connection between your L1 and L2 can significantly improve your approach to language acquisition. Let's explore why your native language plays a role in how you sound when speaking a second language and what you can do about it. Why does L1 influence L2 pronunciation? Our brains essentially build a framework based on our first language during childhood. This framework affects how we perceive and produce sounds. When you start learning an L2, your brain tries to fit unfamiliar sounds into the existing categories you're familiar with from your L1. This process is natural but can cause mispronunciations or accents that reflect your native language's phonetic system. Phonetic categories. Each language has specific sounds that might be absent in another. For example, a native Japanese speaker might find it challenging to distinguish between the English L and R sounds because Japanese has a single sound somewhere in between. Pronunciation habits. These are deeply ingrained routines that developed over years of speaking your native language. These can be hard to adjust without targeted practice. Stress and intonation. To patterns. Beyond individual sounds, how your first language uses stress or melody in speech strongly shapes your L2 accent. Spanish speakers, for example, might have a very different intonation pattern when speaking English, which can affect how natural they sound. Common examples of L1 influence in L2 pronunciation. Let's highlight some typical cases to better understand this influence. Why UX design is a game changer in digital marketing. Vowel length and quality. Arabic speakers might struggle with vowel length distinctions in English since Arabic vowels often have different lengths and qualities. Syllable structure. Some languages tend to have simpler syllable structures. Japanese speakers, for instance, often insert extra vowels to break up English consonant clusters, like saying supun instead of spoon. Stress patterns. French speakers might stress English words differently due to French's syllable-timed rhythm compared to English's stress-timed rhythm. How adult language learners can overcome L1 influence. Since adults are past the critical period for language acquisition, overcoming L1 influence takes focused attention and practice. Here are some effective strategies. Listen actively. Focus not only on vocabulary or grammar, but also on the sounds and musicality of the language. Listening to native speakers through podcasts, videos, or conversations helps train your ear. Phonetic practice. Spend time working on sounds that do not exist in your L1. Use tools like minimal pairs, words that differ by only one sound, to sharpen your discrimination and production skills. Record yourself. Hearing your own speech helps you detect pronunciation errors influenced by L1 you might not notice otherwise. Use visual and tactile feedback. Watching a speaker's mouth or using mirrors can help adjust how you produce new sounds. Get feedback. Whether through teachers, language partners, centers, or speech coaches, getting corrections helps you refine your pronunciation over time. The role of science in enhancing pronunciation skills. When you release new books, use that insight to refine your cover designs, promotional tactics, and even storytelling elements to keep your branding fresh but consistent. If you're curious about structured ways to integrate this into your adult language learning journey, there are systems designed to combine theory and practice optimized for busy learners. Maximize your pronunciation with science-based methods. For self-published authors and seasoned pros alike, mastering this will improve your book marketing effectiveness and ultimately help you increase book sales month after month. Next, you need to know what types of policies are out there and what they do. Here are the most common ones. Final thoughts. Recognizing the influence of your first language on your second language pronunciation doesn't mean you're stuck with an accent forever. With intentional practice and a solid understanding of the mechanics behind your speech, adult learners can significantly improve their pronunciation. Remember that language acquisition is a process. Embrace your progress, be patient with yourself, and lean into tools and resources designed around the science of language learning. If you want to take your language learning to the next level, check out ScienceBasedLearning.com. Their system offers practical, science-backed methods tailored for adult language learners looking to refine pronunciation and boost overall language skills with smart, sustainable techniques.